Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Dave McDonald. I am acting chair for tonight until Mr. Reynolds, our chair, comes back online. He has a meeting right now. And so we hope to see him in a few minutes. Right now it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if we can start off, Mikey D, why don't you start it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the Republic.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. In accordance to the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that the meeting of the sewer commissioners is being recorded and be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is provided to the members of the public who would like to participate. To participate remotely from the computer, please use the link to join the public meetings where it can be found in posted agenda. Or you can telephone dial toll free at 888-475-4499 and enter the web bar ID 792-737-0353. If you have not registered in Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed. Just press the pound sign when asked. I'd like to start with confirming with a roll call. Please say here when I state your name. Mike Nault.
Here.
Mike Divakis.
Here.
Brett is on vacation. We hope Brett's having a good time with his family, and I'm glad he didn't go to Orlando, so that's a good thing. Bill Bernard.
Here.
Bob LaFave.
Here.
Dave, and Jane Ramley.
Here.
I'd like to start it off with some public comment from the public. Seeing none. Any public comment from the board? Mike?
No.
Mike Nault?
All good.
Okay. Announcements. It's with a heavy heart that I announced the passing of Bill Gustis. Bill Gustis was actually the first sewer commissioner in the town of Lunenburg back in 2006. He was on the board with members like Carl Luck, Paula Bertram, Steve DeBettencourt, and Mark Flagg. Those are some names from the past. He also served not only as the chairman of the sewer commission, but he also served the town as town manager. So please pass along our condolences to his wife, Laura, who's also worked for the town. It's also with another passing. Her name was Linda Betty. Linda was not only a very close friend to us, but she served the town quite well. She was a member of the Lunenburg Lions Club. She was a great contributor to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Lunenburg. She was one who started the Lobsters banquet for supporting the Lunenburg kids. She was a member of the Pancake Breakfast Committee. And I was very proud to say that she's worked with us on the Salvation Army on numerous times, not only by fires, but on our boot drives. She gave her heart and soul to Lunenburg, and she will be sorely missed. So our hearts go out to her wife, Cheryl, and may she rest in peace. Thank you for the time. Current business, we're going to go to Pondview 48, the 40B discussion. Barb, I'll let you go from there.
If I might, I have one other announcement. The demand bills went out today for the Q1 billing, and we inserted a letter in there for anyone who had outstanding invoices from the fiscal year that we just closed out, FY22, which ended on June 30th. If those bills, if you get one of those letters, that amount goes on your tax bill if it remains unpaid and eventually can be lien. So if you get one of the letters in with the demand notices, please act upon it as quickly as possible. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Okay, Pondview 40B discussion.
Yeah, just wanted to recap. Dave, you were also there, how the ZBA meeting went on the 14th of September. We did present our letter and the list of concerns that was discussed at the meeting on the 12th or the 13th.
Yes, that meeting went, if you guys get a chance, take a look at it on the YouTube channel. It went well. for what we have. Paula and Bob worked real hard on the letter and the facts and figures of what we have. We have a long road ahead of us on this. I think we got the point across that if they waive the fees, it could actually put the sewer division into bankruptcy. So there's a lot of work coming up. I ask you all to look at this. Any questions you have, talk to Barb, talk to Paula. And on this one here, I would say if you want to feel free to talk to the lawyer during office hours, I have no problem doing that. I'm sure John will back up on that as well. But like I said, it's a long road. Do you guys anybody have any questions about the 40B? And this is the project going up at the old chicken farm up on Holman Street. So that's that big project that we were talking about. Bill, how about you? Do you have any comments on the 40B?
Nothing further than what we had in our letter. I think our letter was pretty good. Laid out our concerns pretty well.
Well, thank you for your input too as well. I know the sewer commission has been working on for over a year as far as getting our facts and figures together. So again, there is a big meeting coming up on the 12th. I think it's the 12th, right, Barb? Yes. We have a meeting on the 11th. The 12th will be at the town hall. And they're mainly asking for water and sewer. So if you guys, and we're gonna have another meeting to help with the presentation and help John, but I'll leave it up to John as far as if you guys can make it to that meeting. I think it's kind of important that we go. But again, John will be talking to you in regards to that. Barb, do you have anything to add on the 40B?
The cost of the connections was adjusted. I did send out an adjustment or a revised cost of connections to everybody and also to the ZBA. And it's also, all of our information about the 40B is on our website. So it did go down. It was at 2.005 million on connection costs, and it was reduced to 1.798 million. So not a big deal, but 200,000 is 200,000. Everything is on our website now, including the development policy that, you know, the commission's anxious to make sure everyone understands that the intent of the commission is not to control or enable development.
And that's something to remember. Our job on the commission is not to say yay or nay. Our job is to run the business. And sometimes you want to let your personal feelings get in there and you really can't. So the bottom line right now is we continue doing what we're doing, learn as much as you can. And John and I talked about maybe Paula and Barbara writing up what is a reserve fund, like a little, what am I trying to say, index of the definitions like we did in Fitchburg on those definitions of what things mean. There are some things that we don't know, and we do know, but what's the difference between a betterment and a, what's the other one that we use?
Privilege
The
fee.
privilege fee. How does that work out? What is our capital reserve fund? What is our connection fees? What is our I&I fee that we charge? There's a lot of things in there that we should know, and it's just part of the business. And I know Bob rattles them off real quick, and as she should, because she's been there longer than us. But we should know by now too where the money's going to business, and we do. It's just that when we sit down during our budget process, we all do it. But when we're doing this 40B, I think we all should just be brought up to speed a little bit. Bob, you know what I'm trying to say?
Are you talking about being an enterprise fund
Talking about
or just all the different fees?
all the different fees that we have, why we do it, what's law. Of course, we do things. I know the I&I fund was set up. You know, why do we do that? Where's the monies go? Some of it's small percentages, but it's things that we should know as running the business as well.
Okay.
So I know we talked to John about that.
Okay.
Any more questions on the 40B? Seeing none, we'll move on. The ARPA opera proposal. Bob, I'll let you and Bill talk about this.
Bill, do you want to explain, or I know I sent out your latest draft of our proposals. I'll I'll jump in. We did at the last meeting discuss lateral linings to reduce INI. But we did get the cost of the project back from Wright Pierce, and it was quite extensive. And also, given that our system is fairly new and all PVC, and not proceeding up to the home, it was not Kevin at Wright Pierce's recommendation that we do that lateral lining, because with having the newer pipes in our system, it's not as effective against INI. So I had sent out, I believe, his summary on that. So at this point, our ARPA proposal still is for the pump stations as the top priority and manholes as the secondary.
Any members have any questions? Here's the time to do it. Just let you know, the ARC money proposals, I think we have until the end of the month to get those in. Is that right, Bill?
Yeah, the 30th. So
30th. And I know you talked to our vendors about priorities in the pump stations and so on. So guys, I'll leave it up to you. Mikey D, do you have any questions for Bill and Bob? No?
No,
Mike, no?
No questions, just looking over just the pump station. I mean, it'd be nice if we do get it. It'd definitely be some well-deserved maintenance to them, that's for sure. So.
You know, the question I got was, Bill, how'd you come up with 200 grand for the sewer covers? Is that replacing covers over a period of time? Is that all in one load, or what's your plan on that?
all right, it wasn't just covers, it's manhole repairs.
Okay.
And that was from a report from Wright Pierce from a few years back. It documented problems that they found with manholes, and then it prioritized the type of repairs. So the cover repairs got done right away because that was a high priority. There was a lot of infiltration coming through the covers, so that got done. But from what I could see, nothing else in that report has really been touched. So there's still a lot of manhole repairs, you know, just basically getting inside and patching them up, you know, looking for holes and leaks. And
So another question I would have is that, let's just say everything goes 100% according to plan, and the selectmen say, hey, Bill, here's 500,000, go knock yourself out. Does that have to be spent within a period of time? I'm sure it does, but could we put that in reserve capital for a while?
it does need to be spent. The form that they're asking us to fill out asks what fiscal year it would be spent in. So I believe I put 23 and 24 to give us some time to, you know, to get a contract together, get the work done.
Well, the worst thing we do is get awarded money and say, okay, you got 30 days to spend it too. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't wanna. So, I mean, the only thing I'd ask is, and again, I'll open this up to the commission. We have a maintenance program going on. Is there anything in the maintenance program above and beyond that we should be throwing in that our contractor didn't bring up? So you have jetting of lines, you have repairs of pumps and stuff like that. Is there any in there that we're missing, I guess is what I'm trying to say? Or you think you got everything captured?
Well, I don't believe so. I think the regular maintenance, I think we have enough funds to handle that as it is. These manhole repairs, and especially the pump house repairs, that's above and beyond what we have money for. So that's where we really need the money.
I agree with you on that. Mike, no, do you have any more questions?
No, I agree. We're put it in the right place.
Okay. Mikey D, do you have any questions?
I don't know so much a question, but I know when we did the pump station tours, there was that one station that's on, trying to think, it's close to John Street. The one where we looked at where the manhole cover is basically in the middle of the road, and every time they plow it in the wintertime, they end up knocking that cover off. I don't know if there's any plans in the works for that, and then to fix that, I believe it's a telephone line that was laying down across the abutting property. Is that going to be part of the program, or is that something that's in the works now?
Well, the manhole that is, yeah, it doesn't have a concrete collar around it. That's something, we could do. Yeah, if we get extra money for it, yeah, we could do it under that, but it is something we could do with our regular maintenance money also.
Yeah, because I know there's high voltage that it's running in there too, and if that cover gets open, you get a lot of water in there, it's going to create a larger repair.
Hmm.
To fix all that high voltage going through there than it would be to get it done now before they have that issue again come winter time.
Yeah.
So Bill, that might be something that we may have to take care of now more than later, don't you think?
I agree, yeah.
I mean, we do have money in the maintenance repair for that. But it's also a danger too, Mike. Mike, you saw it. Is it a danger for your electrician? You tell us. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I guess what happens is the plows come over, they hit it and they knock the cover over, and it runs a risk of one, the truck going into the hole, and two, it also runs a risk where if you do become an arc fault hazard and things short out the ground and there's an explosion in there, it could be damaging to anybody that's in the area. If there's a truck over it, it could, worst case scenario is it could cause a truck to catch fire. Or actually, worst case scenario, somebody could get killed from that because of the arc flash out of that 480 that's in the ground.
Yeah, Bill, can we skip the ARC money on that? Let's get it repaired.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, do you need a vote on that or you just want to do it?
Nope, we're just gonna go ahead and do it.
Can you let Barbara know a schedule? Let us know when that would be taken care of.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. The last thing I have on that is, and I think that's another question we have to ask our attorneys is, I'm still don't want to let the Wayland District go for I&I. We know the problem's not in our system as far as the channel 40 pipe. We know it's the clay pipes that's causing the problem up there. I would really like to explore on how we can get that fixed. What do we have to do to get these clay pipes problems fixed once and for all? Do we put a memo out there saying that if you sell your house, we have to get that up to grade, or eventually it'll be fixed? I think we got to look at all options on that because there's a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money going to Leominster because of this problem. A lot more than what we planned on with the opera money. So I think we have to sit down really quick and come up with a solution for that. Otherwise, we're going to be, commissions 20 years from now are going to be talking about that. So maybe we can start something like that. Is there any comments on that? Mike? No?
Well, I mean, I&I in that area has always been a problem. I don't know the solution. Maybe something like that. If the house sells, that's putting the burden, on the landowner. So it's maybe looks in the way of a grant or something at some point that would help out.
Hey, Dave, one about the I&I. I've been working with some of the different towns a little bit more west of here, and their sewer departments and their pump stations, and talking with some other, the directors, and a few other people that work for that. We've been talking about I&I, and it seems like, a lot of other towns are having the issues, especially when it rains. And it's brought to my attention too, that maybe some of the older homes, if there's older homes in a certain area, if they're running sump pumps, some people might be running sump pumps into their wash drains, if they have a sink in the basement. So it seems like, that could be an issue too, but I don't know how to solve that. It's just, it was brought to my attention that some other areas are having the same issues.
A few years ago, we had one of our engineers do smoke tests. And one of the way to find things like that is you put the smoke into the pipes and it comes out. I think we caught maybe 2 or 3 sub pump violations up there in that area, Bob, if I remember right.
Yep.
So yes, you're absolutely right. The other thing is the high water table. So if you have clay pipes that are leaking and the water comes above that, that's all that water is going to go into our system. And Leominster knows about it too. This isn't something that has been a secret. I mean, Leominster, all this water goes to Leominster. It costs Leominster money too to clean out the water as well. So they're aware of it. I just like to find a solution to it. And I don't know what it would be. I don't know if it would be, and again, if you go back to when sewer was installed, maybe it should have been mandatory that everybody tied up. I mean, that was, a lot of towns do that when they run a new sewer. It's mandatory that the houses along those lines sign in. But this is a case where they should have fixed it back then when they had the ground uncovered. So I just think as a commission, we're smarter than this. We can come up with some kind of solution to this. I just think we have to work on it. So Barb, when I said, let's line the pipes, that was mainly for the clay pipes. But again, maybe we can give the option to how much does it cost to do a clay pipe lining if you sell the house? I just don't know. But Bob, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead.
It is my intent. I'm going to council hours tomorrow, and what it is to add. There are two things I would like to have added into our policy updates that we're going to do now that our bylaw has passed through the Attorney General. And one is to have extraneous lines and sump pumps and roof drains verified at prior to sale, but also that if you have clay pipes, that you are required to replace them before sale. So I just need to talk to council on it. And I'll be coming back to you with hopefully some verbiage on that. So just want you to know, at least that would be a slow process to get them replaced, but at least we'd have some power over the clay pipes when a house sells, that they need to be replaced and studied for sump pumps and roof drains. But yes, we did study all that in the Whalum area. We did home inspections and tried to remove them, but there's not a whole lot to say somebody didn't put it back in. So at sale, it should be verified that there's no illegal connections.
Well, like I say, if you look at the INI and with Leominster, we had an agreement for years that it would be done by the water metering. And just the last few years, our IMA in Leominster says metering. So Leominster did us a favor for the first 15 years or so. But just to give the people an idea of what we're spending, what is the difference from the metering to the actual readings, money-wise? We're talking over 100 grand, right? So every is it a year? Yeah, every year we're paying that kind of money to Leominster. That's just might as well pour it down the drain because you're paying for it. And if we can control those expenses, we can control our expenses along to the homeowners too. So this is something that commissions in the past have looked at, and commissions in the future are going to look at. But maybe this commission can try to solve it, at least put us on the road to solving it and save some money for all our customers, because that's what's affecting is our customers. So
many companies out there doing pipe restoration now. It's pretty interesting process. I've seen a couple of them done recently. And I mean, that could be an option too for a homeowner that's selling that has clay pipes, if the town will allow, a pipe restoration done rather than a whole full replacement.
I think that's a good idea. But you know what hurts, Mike? If you take a look at where the stub is on the Whalum district, the houses, some houses may be a long feet, some of them may only be 20 feet. So, right. But that's something that if you have to get a septic checked out before you sell the house, I think maybe now we should start looking at the water too and get that checked out before they sell the house. So, but I know Bob's going to be working on it with the attorneys. So, okay, anything else on that category, Barb?
No, but our illustrious chairman is. Yeah.
Dave, if you want to keep going, that's fine. I'm happy.
Wow. No. I'll stop it there, John. Welcome back.
No, that's good. I just, obviously, we're talking about I&I and pipelining, and you probably talked about it's going to be almost a $2 million project, Barbara,
yes,
to do all that. So just a couple thoughts, and you guys already might have talked about this. I've seen pipelining. I was involved in a couple projects with that, and I just don't know if you can line clay pipes. I have no idea. Over time they can pretty fragile. It would be great because that might be a less expensive option for a homeowner. We all feel pretty strongly that the Whalum district is the I&I problem, but we still don't know that for 100% certainty, that we aren't getting a lot of I&I from somewhere else too. So,
John, talking with Leominster though, they seem pretty accurate where they know where the problems are. And Bob, what was that guy's name? I forgot. He almost gave addresses the last time we saw him about this.
Now, is that from them going back many years when before sewerage or before Lunenburg had sewerage or?
No, Darren, I mean, I guess the way my impression was that this guy, what was his name, Barb?
Roger.
Roger knows every inch of the sewer pipe. In fact, he was a wealth of information. It'd be nice to get him to come in and talk. I mean, he knows the system like the back of his hand. You know, it's like Bill. I mean, Bill knows DOT like the back of his hand. You know, you've done it for so long, you know it. And
Right.
Roger's just one of those guys who knows. And like I say, Roger made a point to tell us that this problem just as big as in Leominster as it is in Lunenburg. Just that Lunenburg now is paying a lot of the bill because it's still going through their system, still going through their pipelines.
No, I remember when we had several engineering consulting firms come in when we were looking for an I&I study. And Barbara, you probably remember this more than me. There were probably 4 engineering consulting firms there in the little tiny conference room. And they all said, well, you know, statistically, you don't have an I&I problem. Well, that nationwide, yep, that's probably true, but we've got a small sewer system. So for us, the I&I is, it's a lot of money.
Well, you know, if it was $10,000 or something, but we're talking literally hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I know. And I agree with Dave, I agree with you. And I was kind of shocked when they said that. And again, given that we're a small sewer system, you know, a few dollars is more important than say a city sewer system. But anyway, just wanted to toss all that out. So I assume that we just finished the ARPA proposal.
Except for your comments.
Well, I read Bill's document. I thought it was well written, and I thought pretty well supported for what we're doing. The only change I may say is I think the actual number for sewer customers is 922. I think Paul had determined that. So if you wanted to change 900 to 922, Bill, you know, every customer helps. And then the form asked about were there any other sources of revenue or funds to take care of this? And you, for each project, you listed a few. Are those all definite that money would be available to us? Or is that money that's out there that we maybe could get?
The Aqua money?
Well, Bill listed, especially under the pump station, I think there were 2 or 3 potential sources of other funds. How definite would it be that those funds are actually available to us? I don't want the people who make the final determination to think that there's a lot of money out there that we have access to that it's not a definite thing.
Right, so just to be thorough, I looked around for different grants and I found those 2. We would have to apply for them, and I'm sure there's a process.
Right.
Will we get it or not? Who knows? I think of one of them or both of them, I kind of put some caveats that maybe we don't even fit, you know?
Okay.
So the chances of getting them, in my opinion, are very small.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
I
Mr.
mean,
Chair,
that's all I had. But other than that, Bill, I thought you did a pretty good job of supporting the request. So,
the only thing, Mr. Chair, I have one more comment.
sure.
And I'm going to ask Bill this question. Bill, what are the odds of us throwing in a portable generator on its own axis so that we need something at a pump station, you can drive one over?
We'd have to find a fund for it. Yeah,
Can we throw that in the Aqua fund, or is it too late for that?
as a third request for, so what, like a 250 kV generator on wheels on a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, the DPW should have one anyways. I mean, do you have a light kit so that if, you know, how they run off a generator with emergency lighting? Do you have one of those?
I don't believe so. I think we just have smaller generators, nothing
Well,
big enough to run a pump station.
I'm not saying the big one, but say if we lose one of the, you have 10 pump stations, what if we lose one of the ones along the way, like on Electric Ave, you know, something to replace until we can get it fixed, I guess is what I'm saying. Something to think about anyways.
Yeah, do you want to put in a third request then?
I would throw it out to the board with their opinion.
I mean, that might be a good idea, because I think it could be used by more than, perhaps used by more than just the highway department or sewer department. I mean, obviously the highway department would have, well, it would be part of your highway department, but I'm sure I can't think of them right now, but there might be other things other than sewer, certainly, that it could be used for. But I have no idea, Bill or Dave, how much something like that would cost.
You know what, I would say, I mean, and go back, who could use it? The fire department could use it. If there's ever, the high school could use it if there's a problem with their generator. It's a backup generator that they use. Most towns have them. They're also attached to, like I said, to lights. So if you need emergency lighting for, you got a sewer break in the middle of the night, something like that. I think Jack used to rent them, if I remember right. Bob, do you remember that at all? I think they used to rent them.
Yeah, I think so. I have a note to myself to talk to Joe. Feel like we've had something, but I don't know if we still do. So I'll check.
Right, I know we had a problem a few years ago. We had to hire a pumping company come and pump out until they fixed it was either the well or the pump station or the generator.
Yeah.
About
Well,
5
Bill,
years ago.
oh, sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, I'm all set. Go ahead.
Bill, have you put anything in for the ARPA money that's for DPW unrelated to sewer?
No, because I don't think there's anything that falls into the upper,
Okay,
categories there, yeah. Just sewer is the only one.
okay, so I guess, how's the rest of the board feel? Mike and Mike?
I think it would be a good thing to have as a backup. For some reason we lose power and for some reason a generator goes down, it'd be nice to have to keep the pump station up and running. You'd have to size it accordingly to your largest pump station, and then I'd add like 25% onto the KW value of what we had. That way to make sure that you have enough power and reserve for that generator to use it for anything else that you would need.
Yeah, so I guess, like I said, I have no clue what something like that would cost versus, having a narrow focus, what it would cost to buy something like that versus renting a generator for a power station. I know my sons, when they had their landscaping business, they bought a pretty expensive tractor with an 8-foot snow blower, and it sat quietly except in the winter. I mean, it was a big expense for something that was used very little. However, a generator is more of an emergency issue. So, Bill, this has to be turned in by the 30th, correct?
That's correct, yep.
Is that something you could put together between now and the 30th?
I think so. In a past job, I bought one of these generators on wheels. I can't remember the price off the top of my head, but I'm sure I can find it.
Probably a lot of money, right?
It was, yeah. Yeah. And knowing how equipment is today, if we were to order it today, we probably wouldn't have it for a year, but.
Right. So I sort of sense from the board, they perhaps would like you to do that. Let me just go around. I don't think we need to vote on it, but Dave, obviously you would be interested in having him do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at one now. I don't know if you can see that.
Okay,
I'm trying to find the price, but like Mike said, you have to figure out what size we need that will handle at least 8 of those generators. But it might be something that the fire department could use too. I mean, maybe Bill could reach out to the department heads or the police department.
yeah, I mean, I think any department could potentially use it.
But the generator will be used for more than just taking care of bump stations. If
No, I understand that, but, you know, it's the sewer department asking for the money.
Yeah.
Mike, Nault, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, I like the idea, but getting a sense that it's kind of gonna be like the town's generator. And should it be bought by the sewer department, I guess, like for like a, you know, pretty big share use.
Well, I don't think. the
Because I
sewer-
can see.
Yeah, I hear what you say. I don't think the sewer department could buy it unless it was totally funded by ARPA.
Yeah, most of these are funded. Most of these products are either done through a grant, especially through MEMA or FEMA. You know, Leominster got a lot of generators when the ice storm hit, because I guess you can go the first 72 hours, buy what you need. FEMA usually approves it for emergency situations. But this one here, you know, I mean, I agree with Mike. I mean, we could use it, but there's a lot of other things you can do. But it might be too expensive too. I mean, I'm looking at one now that, you know, goes for $35,000. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, but it's less than I thought it was going to be.
Well, that's a big one. Like I said, it's that's a Generac. I don't know if you can see it. But
Okay.
oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. That's a yeah, it's a Generac one. But it's
Okay.
big. Something to look at is what I'm trying to say.
Right. And Mike Tavakis, you sound like you would probably encourage Bill to add this as a third
Yeah,
item. Okay.
yeah,
All
I
right, so-
definitely would.
Bill, if you could do that, and in your, I don't know what you call it, your report, the form, stress that it's something that could be used by other departments in the town, so there'd be some benefit to the entire town.
Yeah, so if it's gonna be opera, it has to be related to
Oh,
sewer.
correct,
So-
correct.
So
correct.
we have to couch it as it's gotta be primarily for sewer,
Okay,
but it has other benefits. That's one of the questions, what else, who benefits from it, right? So when we
Okay.
get to that question, we can ask, you know, say, yeah, other towns, emergency situations. It'd be good to have for the, you know, townwide use.
okay, so if you could do that, I think that would be great. And as I don't know how much discussion there was about the document you put together, but I thought it was really quite good, so.
Thank you.
Okay, so I assume that you already did pond view 40B discussion?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we just finished up ARPA grease trap program. Barbara?
Just good report that we have gotten everybody that we needed, that was outstanding. So
No,
that
that's
was
good.
on the agenda just in case we hadn't, but all annual permits have now been submitted. All Tuesday reports have been submitted.
Okay. Then Sunny Hill Road, we just have it on here for visibility's sake.
Right, we did get the engineered plan, which was one of the major requests that had been made on the online permitting. Bill has received it, and that was a Rob Oliver request to begin with. So
Right,
I
okay.
believe it's,
Yeah,
Okay.
Bill, have you had a chance to look at that yet?
you're muted.
No, I have not.
Okay. You've been too busy doing your ARPA reports.
And
Okay, well,
No.
Barb, let's leave that on the agenda, just we just have to make sure everything's done correctly.
Yep, and then
Okay.
I also have made comments, both internally and external comments on the online permitting program. that we are still waiting for our permit and our connection fee payment. So
Great.
they are aware.
Okay. The next item is minutes from 9:13. I read them, but I actually, given that there's a big part of it is pond view, I'd like to read those a second time before we vote on them. But if the rest of the group wants to go ahead and vote, that's fine. I just feel like I need to read that section very thoroughly.
Mr. Chair, I suggest we postpone it until our next meeting.
Okay. We don't need to vote on that, but is there everyone else in agreement on that? Mike and Mike?
Yep.
Okay, and Mike, Marcus is shaking his head yes, so,
Yep.
all right. Barbara, the business manager report?
Yep, 43 Summer Street, the marijuana establishment that has moved in place of Donnelly's Tavern did get through planning board. I believe I put the notice of approval in your packages. I have emailed them again to remind the new owners that we want proof that the grease trap was decommissioned. So we'll hopefully get that. And I also just on that same note, I know in the past I have forwarded whenever the planning board meets, I forwarded the agenda. I don't know if that's still something that people want, or if you're already subscribed to receive them automatically.
I personally feel that anyone who wants it, they should subscribe to getting it automatically. So it's just something else that you have to do, Barb. So if you wanted to send out something about how to do that, then all the commissioners have the option to do it if they want to receive it. I mean, that's my personal opinion, but what's the rest of the board think?
I just don't want to send emails if people don't need them in their mailbox. That's my question.
Right.
I'm
So,
happy to do it if you would like it.
right, Mike Knoll, your
I
thoughts
mean,
on it?
I usually glance through them, but I mean, I got no problem signing up too, so either way.
Mike DeValkis?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I do the same thing.
Dave
So
McDonald?
continue to send them.
Well, Dave hasn't offered his opinion. He's smiling there, but
I steady everything with a fine tooth comb. So what were we talking about? No,
Yeah.
I agree with you guys.
okay. So Barbara, you can stop distributing that to us and just send out one final email regarding that about how to sign up to automatically get it, if you could do that.
Okay, is that what was decided?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't think we need to vote on that, just so.
okay.
Okay. Continue, Barb. It's all yours.
Special town meeting, the articles were submitted within the deadline. It's just the 2 stabilization funds that were discussed at the last meeting. 44 Northfield has submitted their request for a waiver in order to have an easement on the property next door at 34 Northfield. We just finally got the easement plan today. We're still waiting on the easement documentation or document that both parties will receive between 34 and 44 Northfield. It's going to be posted in this Friday's ledger so that it has 5 business days, and then our meeting on the 11th will be a public hearing for the 44 Northfield request for a waiver. So just so you know, I do have the plan in-house and I can send it to you now that we've gotten it. But I'm hoping to get the easement documentation to go along with it. And it will be on the hearing notice states that it will be available for viewing at the clerk's office as well. So there'll be multiple places people can go and check it out.
Remind me, is this going to be an actual easement or a proposed easement if the sewer commission votes to waive or to allow them to have an easement?
The sewer has been in place for 17 years. It was
Right.
installed in '05. When
Right.
they subdivided the property, and it went through the A&R process, they were unaware that the sewer line went into 34 Northfield's property. So if the commission does not approve the waiver, they would either have to replumb 44 Northfield to have the sewer line come out in front of their home, or they'd have to purchase the property that's in question from 34 Northfield. They're trying to do it without having to do either of those things, because those are both.
Okay, so I guess we'll just put it on, it'll be on the agenda for
The
10:15,
the 11th.
the 11th, sorry, yep. Okay,
Okay, and as soon as I get those documents, I'll get them out to you so you guys can take a look. Unfortunately, the people that are in 44 just purchased the property in August, had no idea that this was an issue when they purchased it. So that's why 34 Northfield, who is doing new construction on that property, has been very helpful to the new owners, trying to help them get this
okay,
happen. Okay.
Yep.
Dan Proctor has come in. He is going up for he's requesting a change of use for his property at 1325 Mass Ave. He requested to be on our next agenda. So that's also for that same 11th meeting. Because he was going to go before the ZBA, I think tomorrow. He's changing to that property that's kind of across from our pump station down there, Mass 1, to be a storage facility for contractors. So just FYI, he'll be before the ZBA tomorrow night if you want to get a advanced copy, but we'll get a change of use application from him. He's coming before the board. Right now, it's just a single family home. That's the use code of it, and now it would change to either I'm waiting for him to tell me whether he's going to subdivide the property and it will be mixed use, or if it'll be total commercial, but he's working on ZBA right now. So.
all right, so from a sewer point of view, it doesn't sound like you'd be using any more or disposing any more into the sewer than a single residential usage, right?
That, as far as I know, I haven't gotten anticipated flows yet. I
Okay,
need to know. It's just a heads up that he's
right,
coming on the next meeting, but he will be on the ZBA if anybody wants to see what it's all about.
okay,
We're gonna finally get our demo done on the Munilink system with Heather and Karen and Mylene. We're gonna do that this week. Karen's been out sick for quite a while with her second bout of COVID, so.
oh, that means you must have been vaccinated.
I don't know. It's bad, but anyway, we're gonna be doing that Thursday with Paula and the three at Town Hall, I think, or somewhere co-located. And hopefully that will be acceptable to them and we can move forward with it. FY23 budget, I did send out to everybody with the latest bills and whatever. I have, unfortunately, as I was going through it, I think because Karen's been out, some of the revenues are off. Even the date on the form says for Munis as of 9/22. I noticed that most of the revenues from after August 15th haven't been posted, so the revenue should be a bit better than they appear on the current budget.
Okay,
So
any questions about the budget?
I asked Barb at the beginning of the meeting to, as we talked about, making a sheet of what things are, like our I&I funds, where does that go? Why was that incorporated? I remember that conversation we had. So that will help us during the budget process as well, because now we have a better understanding. Why do we take I&I money? Where does it go? Why do we do blah, blah, blah? What's the difference between a betterment and a privilege fee? How much money we got left on the privilege fees before we don't charge privilege fees anymore? Things like that.
Okay. Okay, Barbara, invoices?
Invoices, I just have one. I have the Fitchburg monthly usage invoice just to go over with you. It is based on our flow meters for 15,861.42. And that is for July 26th through August 25th. So as long as you're okay and I'm okay. I mean, they're billing us for the number that we've provided them, so.
Do I need to come in and initial that?
No, I will just note that it's been reviewed by the commission, as long as
Okay.
it's fine with you. Leave it out for your review if you want to come in and look at it in person.
Does anyone have any questions about that? No.
I'm good.
Okay, Barbara, it sounds like you're all set with that.
Okay, all right. Just that I had done quite a lot of updates on our website for the Pond View project. The info all about the 40B, we've got it on the first screen as you log into the Sewer Commission. I've got it under what's new. I added more information to the sewer extension link that we have at the bottom of our homepage. And it links it. I provided links to documents if you're interested in an extension and our regulations, etc. Development policy is on there also, both on that homepage and the policies page. And we get a lot of calls at the office, people needing a figure for their betterment payoff, and we have to redirect them to the collectors. So I've added that to our homepage too. So just check out the website. It's got some more information on there.
Okay.
And that's all I had.
Any questions for Barb? Okay, seeing none. Does anyone have any action items?
I got one. Bill, you are now totally set up in the conference room for Zoom and for other stuff that's been completed?
Yes, that's complete.
Now, have you used the equipment yet?
Just kind of tested it out. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
Will it help you during I was hoping to get you more tools that when there's a snowstorm coming, you can hook into the memer lines and stuff like that. Will that help you at all?
If they're doing a Zoom meeting,
I think they're going to start updating things like that in the future, yeah. Unless you can do it on your computer. Is your computer Zoomable in your office?
yeah, yes.
Well, looking forward to trying it out soon, I hope. Thank you.
Well, maybe the next meeting, Dave, you can be at the conference room and
I would like that. Barbara, you in the office now?
Barbara,
I've been trained. I want to point out the next meeting is a public hearing, and I would prefer not to have a public hearing in the conference room at the DPW.
Oh, no, we're not talking that, no.
Okay.
okay.
Otherwise,
Any other action items? No, okay. Any public comment from anyone? I see there's one person I don't recognize. So any public comment? Okay.
I have
seeing none.
nothing to share.
Okay. Any public comment from the Sewer Commission? No? Okay, I just have something to say. I wasn't here at the beginning, so I have some surgery coming up towards the end of October. And the COVID math says that but the ZBA meeting, I can't physically attend that because again, the COVID math would say I potentially not be outside a 10-day window if I got COVID, and I just can't risk putting the surgery off anymore. So is there anyone here that will be going to the ZBA meeting?
I'll be going, but I think it's also, I think,
You're not looking for a lot of input from the sewer department, sewer commission, I know, but
yeah, I think you can go online. I think it's gonna be on Zoom as well,
oh, really?
as far as I understand, yeah, but I know
Okay.
I'll be there.
Okay,
If I'm in town, I mean, I might not be in town because we're on call to go to Florida in case they get hit hard down there.
I need to join the Salvation Army and see the world, huh?
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's a great time. Great time, yeah.
Okay, any other comment? No, okay, we have two upcoming meetings scheduled. October 11th is the public hearing. That'll be via Zoom, and then October 25th, which actually is the day of my surgery, so I will not be in attendance. So I guess if someone wants to make a motion to adjourn. No one wants to adjourn?
Apparently not.
I'm waiting for Mike. Mike Knott usually does that.
All right. I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:55.
Is that seconded by anyone?
I'll second it.
There you go.
Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Dave,
Aye.
Mike Knoll,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
and I for myself. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you,
Good night,
guys.
Lunenburg.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks for
Thank you.
stepping in earlier.
Oh, thank you. Have a good night, guys.
All right,
Take care.